So if you're someone that's been part of loads of group chats and you're no longer active and you're just lurking and you're watching and you haven't spoken in 3 weeks but you don't want to leave, this video is for you. I want to say to you, behind all of that, you have a deep-seated masked abandonment wound. I'm going to talk you through understanding why you're still in that group text and what you can actually do with some practical steps of how you can actually start to heal and why your inner child is so crucial, important when it comes to healing your abandonment wound. So, when you have a deep fear of missing out, which we call FOMO, okay, what's happening is you have a terror of being forgotten. So, it's not that you feel like you're going to be missing out, it's you feel, oh my God, like if I leave that group chat, are people going to forget about me? That's why you stay in that group chat, because you're like, well, I'm here, I'm watching what's going on. And the other question, if you are anxiously attached, you'll be like, is anyone missing me? Has anyone noticed that I've not been replying? Or is anyone noticing that, I've been really quiet? Because what you're secretly hoping is someone goes at your name and goes, hey, you've been really quiet. That will happen if you are someone that has, issues around being seen or you weren't seen as a child. So what you're doing when you're staying in there is you're monitoring, but you're not contributing, which means you're being present without the need to be absolutely vulnerable. And behind all of that is the abandonment trauma. Behind all of that is the child that was left out, the child that was left behind, or you were left altogether. And you don't want to leave and you don't want to walk away because actually you've still got an attachment to something. And what is happening is secretly you're like, oh my God, like, will that person miss me? Will that person reach out? But ultimately you're going to stay in group chats even if you're not present anymore because you have that deep-seated abandonment wound. So how do we heal that abandonment wound? This is where I will always say it's really important when it comes to doing inner child work. Regardless if you believe in the inner child concept or not, every single one of us has an inner child. There is a part of us that is still stuck in the past, that makes all of our decisions around food, around money, around our career, around our relationships, and generally is pretty much working out life for us. And what you'll find is we have coping mechanisms just like this, where we'll stay in group chats or we'll stay, I don't know, on people's pages, but we won't contribute, but we'll watch. Okay, that's where you have like the lurker energy. Lurkers are people that just literally just watch stuff and never actually say anything, and they're just taking it all in and observing it because that is a mirror to what would have happened to you as a child. But when it comes to healing and working with your inner child, that's when you're going to make those fundamental changes with your abandonment wound. So, how do we do that? What is really important to understand is most people are abandoning their inner child to the degree that they were also abandoned when they were a child. If you grew up with parents that were there physically but not emotionally available, which was a lot of us in the 80s because people were checked out doing life, whatever, then what happens is people abandon you externally in the mirror to reflect back to you what you do inside of yourself. However, when you start to spend time with your inner child and you really become invested with them and you get to understand them and you know them, and for me, inner child work isn't about going back into those past memories, okay? I truly advocate and don't believe it helps you going back to the past. For me personally, honestly, I feel like it re-traumatizes you. I've spent years and years, I've had 13 different counselors, and you know what? It helped to a degree, but actually, I'll be very honest with you, talking about my trauma to all of these therapists and counselors and psychologists, it didn't help me. It just actually kept me stuck. But what did help was the inner child work, and that's what I'm so passionate about and sharing you with here. Because when you do inner child work, that's about discovering your joy, your creativity, your passion, your playfulness. That's where your happiness lives. That's where your whole moments of being able to jump into a puddle. And you'll see people like me who've got a really happy inner child. They're not on their phone, they're not dysregulated, they're calm, they're grounded, quite peaceful. And they're people that are very playful in life. And when you are working with all of your abandonment wound, you'll find that the more that you start to connect with your inner child, the deeper and more beautiful the connection is going to develop. And the biggest thing that your inner child wants is your presence. Nobody can make you feel safe. No dog, no CCTV system, no ring doorbell, no alarm, no nothing can make you feel safe. But when it comes to healing the abandonment wound, it's important to understand that actually the more that time that you spend with your inner child, the more that actually you won't be bothered about that group chat anymore. You'll be okay to leave because actually, do you know what? You're okay on your own. And fundamentally, that's why you're staying in that group chat, because you're like, well, I can be there, I can watch what's going on, but it's not quite there for me. But ultimately, you don't want to re-trigger that massive abandonment wound. But you will be able to safely leave those group chats when you really start working with your inner child. And what I'd love to share with you now is a reparenting conversation that I actually had with my own inner child when it came to me leaving a group chat that I know is going to really also help you too. So just for reference here, if you've never seen me before, my inner child is called LK, sorry, and I refer to myself as Daddy, and that is because I've been working with my inner child for the last decade, and you may also hear a baby voice, but that's just my inner child and how she signs in my head. So just for essence here as well, before I left a group chat, what was it, January time, I actually did the reparenting work with my inner child, which is what I'm going to show you now. So here we go. Okay, are you there? It's Daddy. Hey, Daddy. Hey, okay. One of the things that I'm aware of, sweetheart, and I want to prep you for is we're going to be walking away from a group of people that, Daddy's been quite close to for sort of 5 or 6 months. But what I want to do is I want to talk to you, sweetheart, because I really want you to know that it's not something you've done wrong. Oh, okay. So I know what's happened in the past is when Daddy has done things, you've always blamed yourself, have you not? Well, yeah, because it's got to be my fault. Right. And I want you to know that when we were younger, what would have happened is we started forming stories and opinions because we always made it our fault, right? Yeah, Daddy, it was always my fault because no one spoke to me. And, well, it was just always my fault, really, wasn't it? Everything was my fault and it's just not good enough. Oh, okay, I know that, sweetheart, okay, but I've done a lot of work with you, haven't I, over that? But I know that there's still some deep-seated things there that we can work through later on together. But what I want you to know, my darling, is that we're going to be leaving this group chat, and it's not your fault in any way, shape, or form. And that's why I'm having this conversation here with you, because I want you to know it's not that those people aren't amazing and incredible, my darling, okay? Those people are on their own journey, they're doing their own twin flame work, and that's okay. But Daddy honestly feels like it's time to leave the whole twin flame community, pull back completely, and just totally invest in being Daddy. How does that sound, okay? Oh, I don't know. Like, we've not talked to them in ages. I know we've not talked to them in ages, my darling, but I'm just saying I'm going to make the clean break. I'm going to delete the app where the chats are on. I'm not going to say anything. And okay, I need you to understand, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to make some big, massive announcement. Hey guys, I'm leaving. I'm not going to do that because I don't need to draw attention to myself. Is that okay? Okay. I suppose so, yeah. Okay. That would be really, yeah, that would be okay, actually. Okay, and how about me leaving that group chat means that I'm actually able to spend more time with you and we can do some deeper inner work around kind of like the silence and stuff that we're experiencing. Does that work for you and is that okay for you, LK? That would be nice to spend more time with you. I would kind of like that. Okay, well, Daddy loves you so much, and I know it's important that we leave the whole twin flame stuff alone now, okay? Because Daddy's twin flame was just somebody that woke them up to the journey. That's all it was, but Daddy got really lost in all of it, okay? Okay, Daddy. Okay, well, okay, I'm just letting you know that I am leaving the group chat. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to delete it. I'm just going to walk away. But it doesn't mean those people are bad. It just means Daddy's no longer in alignment with those people. All right? Okay, thank you for telling me. And I tell you what, when I've left the group chat, I will actually come back and talk to you and let you know I've done it and reaffirm that it is not something that you have done. Okay? Okay, Daddy. All right, well, baby girl, I absolutely love you, LK. I think you are amazing and incredible. And thank you for being open and listening. And again, I want to remind you it's not because of something you've done. It's because we are healing, we are growing, and we are just moving away from groups of people that we're no longer aligned with. But again, I'm having this conversation with you because I really want you to understand that actually it's not your fault and nothing to do with you. All right, darling? Okay, Daddy. Awesome. Thank you, LK. I absolutely love you. So that's kind of like the conversation I had back in January 2026 with LK, something along those lines, all right? But I did that little role play for you just to give you an example that I kept reaffirming it wasn't her fault. Now, if you are somebody that it feels not good enough and you feel like everything is your fault, you feel like it's broken, again, that comes down ultimately to the inner child, embodied that's working through you. When you are somebody that goes things like, oh, I'm not good enough and, I'm unlovable, nobody wants to be with me, those kind of things, again, please be aware when you're feeling those, it's potentially possible your inner child has blended with you. When you're one of those people that you want to push people away and you've got the closed book kind of going on or whatever, again, what's really important to understand is that's your inner child at play. However, that's an example there of like the dialogue that I would have had with my inner child. And I also did actually follow up with her when I had actually left the group chat, and I said to her, I wanted to remind her it wasn't her fault. And the biggest takeaway from this video for you today is, again, if you're in the not good enough and you're anxiously attached or you're fearful avoidant, you can heal all of those bits. And for me, that's why the inner child work is so important. And that's why I'm so passionate about reparenting. And that's why I create all of my content. Anyway, there's a whole ton of playlists up there all around the inner child and parts work, and loads of stuff that you can learn. And that's, again, that's just why I'm creating my content, to be able to help you, because I truly believe, like, honestly, do you know what? No matter what happened to you a kid, no matter your attachment style or whether you're poorly, whatever, I truly believe it is possible to heal. And that's why you see me. Anyway, I hope this has helped. You've taken a lot from it. Like I say, playlist up there for you full of all videos that you can watch next. Have a great day, and I hope this helps. Cheers, take care. Ta-da. Bye-bye.